This is Tweet Street Satirical Saltire, broadcasting to you for unoccupied Scotland. Amplifying women's voices and saying women won't waste. This is Tweet Street Satirical Saltire, broadcasting to you for unoccupied Scotland. Amplifying women's voices and saying women won't waste.
Welcome along to Tweet Street Scotland Occupied, or Tweet Street Occupied Scotland, everyone. I'm Cinnamon Bridges, aka Peter. With me this evening, as usual, my co-host is JB Whitesnake. All right, John, how you doing, mate?
Not bad, Peter. Good to see you, mate.
Aye, Andrew as usual, mate. And our guest this evening is none other than Clive Thompson. Now, Clive, we'll get a wee bit more detail from the man himself, but just to give you a bit of an understanding, it's titled, this podcast is going to be Freedom Friday. It's going to on Friday, and it's celebrating the freedoms that we've still got. Clive's now got his freedom, his liberty back again, and we're celebrating the anniversary of Braveheart and William Wallace. So it all ties in nicely. So hi Clive, welcome along, mate. How you doing?
I'm okay. Thanks for inviting me. I'm very flattered, to be honest.
Oh, you're welcome,
I'm just working normally.
Ah, you're welcome. So to give our viewers a wee bit that don't know Clive, Clive had his liberty taken away for telling the truth and posting information. Was it on Twitter, Clive? Tell us a wee bit about it, mate. You tell us. Where you go?
Well, I was on holiday in Turkey in 2019 and waiting for my wife to get ready. My partner, she's sitting listening to me. Waiting for her to get ready for a meal and that. And I just caught up with the Panorama hit piece on Alex Salmond,
Right.
with Kirsty Watt and Danny Garavelli. And I think something must have blew in my head. And I decided just to publish the names on Twitter there and then. I know I shouldn't have done it, but there you go. I just hated the way he was still being persecuted even after being found not guilty, you know.
Aye.
That's not fair. Hero to me, yeah. So I didn't like it. So then, roughly maybe last August or something, maybe a year later. No, it wasn't. No, I was about November. We came back for holiday, and the police came to the door. I was at work, night shift. Wendy, my partner, messaged me, telling me the police had been here in connection with someone about Twitter. So I phoned them up, and stupidly I admitted it. And the rest is history. So that would have been in October or November. And I got jailed in February for 6 months, done free. My actual sentence just finished this week, as it happens. So, aye, that's what happened. I should have done it. There you go.
Now, Clive, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question before I pass it to John. Where did you find the information to share that?
I was given 5 of the names for a mutual independence supporter, shall we say. About a year before I actually tweeted them, sat on them, not really intending to do anything with them. And then that just pushed me over the edge. You know, it's so unfair, you know. I thought, I hate unfairness, I hate liars. So basically that's what it was.
John, have you anyone to add there?
Yeah, Clive, what I think you done was, in a lot of ways, it's very brave what you done, but did you feel it had a big price on your personal life or your family or anything like that?
Well, look, luckily everything's back to normal, and my kids are all still in the house, and I'm back in the house, and everything's back to normal, you know. I'm back working again. It impacted me financially, emotionally. I'm on antidepressant medication and that kind of stuff. You know, I'm probably drinking a bit too much. Things are back to normal. We're getting back there, you know. Luckily, I've got a good woman there.
Yeah, good.
But she thinks I'm an idiot.
Well, I think we're all half daft, to be honest with you. So you're in good company, by the way. And I've got a lot of time for Alex Salmond as well. I know he's not a lot of people's favourite people, but I'm not a member of ALBA. I'm not a member of SNP. I'm an independent supporter. And even long before this, I've always been a fan of Alex Salmond. Always thought, and why the British hated him so much. To me, in my mind, because he was always more than equal any day locked down in Westminster. He could put them in their place,
Oh,
and they
absolutely.
hated him for that.
Absolutely.
They absolutely despised him. And even up in Scotland, a lot of people didn't like him because of how intelligent and how forthright the man was. So they definitely done him better, you know.
What is that about us Scots when we don't tend to like people that are clever and kind of got an opinion on that? You know, I find that a bit cringeworthy, you know, to be honest.
Well, that's a failing of Scots. They don't celebrate a lot of success. There's a lot of very successful Scots all over the world who are not known.
Aye, absolutely.
There's one guy who I watched a programme about long ago, and he's basically he's a national hero in a place in Japan. He basically industrialised the whole of Japan, and yet he's barely known outside bloody Japan. Yet in Scotland doesn't revere him in any way at all, and he basically brought Japan into the modern world. So
I honestly think
these things.
I honestly think that what it's going to take to wake people up to what's actually happening in Scotland and in the UK and in the world, completely world, the neocons are taking over. You know, it's somebody's going to need to start putting Coronation Street and EastEnders and that on to wake up. You know,
well, see that's what I think is the greatest threat that we've got to is apathy and indifference.
Absolutely.
And it's a cancer to democracy, apathy and indifference. And there's people, whether they're into football, or they're gambler, or whatever, or stupid soap, whatever they're into, it's basically brain numbing crap to keep you immune to what's going on around about you and what's happening to you. And your liberties and freedom are getting screwed, and people are just sitting there taking it. And nobody is more guilty of that than Scotland.
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. I mean, if folk actually knew what was happening to us, you know, like the internal bill, stuff like that, that's coming down the road towards us, and it's going to involve a lot of powers. Like they're already talking about and directly funding councils and stuff, you know.
Right, and I can guarantee you as well, whatever happens to the NHS in England is going to be mirrored in Scotland because they're going to take 100% control of that as well. They'll just bypass the Scottish Parliament and let it rot in the vine and let them argue among themselves. Just show how inefficient it is and indifferent it is, and people will turn on it because they can't do it, and politically they'll be castrated.
That's right. Well, that's what's happening just now with the boundaries. All the boundaries are being on and stuff. You know, they're changing the policing bill to ban protesting and stuff. You know, what kind of country we're living in now?
That's right. I see it in Wales as well. Wales is losing a load of MPs. Scotland's going to lose MPs, and so it's going to be a catastrophe. Peter,
I mean, it's a very good point. I was just going to go into something here, Clive. No, it's a very good point. I've just changed the background. Talking about liberties and talking about everything changing. Things changed in Scotland there 26 days ago when Craig Murray was jailed again for reporting the truth. What's your take on it, Clive, if you don't mind me asking, mate?
Well, unsurprisingly, maybe it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a miscarriage of justice. It's malicious persecution and prosecution of an innocent man. He was reporting what a BBC reporter had reported effectively, and he's the one that's got jailed for it. And the BBC reporter, Danny Garvelli, is still at liberty, as far as I know. The man's got a 5-month-old baby. He's 62-year-old in poor health. He never done anything nearly as bad as I did, and he got longer. Maybe that's because I admit him guilt. I don't know.
It's one of these ones where
just try to get rid of freedom of speech, you know.
Shocking, eh?
It's terrible, man. It's just unbelievable. They could easily have gave him. Well, they shouldn't have got anything because he never done anything wrong. They could easily have gave him community service or a fine or whatever, you know, but they chose to jail the man with a 5-month-old baby in poor health. Ridiculous. I mean, having spent 3 months inside myself, place you want to go ever, it's absolutely horrible. It's just the most horrible thing that's ever happened to me, you know, but you almost was it.
It's a disgrace. It's my personal feeling is it's a disgrace. And then when we have a look at other things that are happening over the past week, 10 days, with the situation with Women Won't Wish and the ladies that were out for their night out and Marion. What's your take on that, Clive, if you don't mind asking?
I think it's awful too, you know. I mean, The SNP's capitulated. They've been taken over by the NEC has been stuffed the woke cabal. Nothing wrong with being woke and being empathetic to people. I don't have a thing against anybody. But they're more interested in that now than they are in getting us independence. And I'm so sad. I'm so disappointed. You know, I'm desperate for independence, and I can't see it happening under the SNP. I think they're more interested in letting men into women's spaces and stuff than getting us independence now. And that's been proven because the deal they carved together with the Greens is going to pursue the GRA reforms within 12 months, and then the indirect twos within this Parliament now. If it's ever going to happen, it could be 2026. That's too long. It'll not be worth having then. You know, until the market bill are kicked in, then we'll be getting stuff dumped in Scotland. Faz Lane's going to be expanded to allow them to dump more radiation in Scotland. It's just horrible the way things are going. Aye, that guy behind you.
Aye. Well, this guy behind us. I'm going to play a wee sketch that was recorded earlier on. It was some of the characters for the show, Clive. One of my colleagues, or one of my characters, Oh Damn Scotland's Voting, tried to get in touch with Nebulous Non-Entity. So let's have a wee look to see what happened, and if we can get your thoughts on it once we're done, that'd be great.
Am I allowed to swear?
Of course, of course. I mean, we're all adults here, so full screen.
Flange.
And I'll share the sound and get everything set up here before pressing play this time. So I normally press play and then having to share the sound and you can't hear it. So try and cut this one off at the pass. Right,
okay.
All right, see what I mean? Can never get it spot on. Right.
That silence was getting a bit tense there, like, you know.
Right, this time, second time, huh? Aye, so picture the scene. Edinburgh. 1 minute having a drink. Should be a easy night, huh? You would have thought. Didn't quite work out like that. So we got Oh Damn Scotland's Voting on the case. And here's what we found out. Welcome along to the You Can't Scotland News, the Big Lie News. This is Oh Damn Scotland's Voting, working in conjunction with Baroness Area Minion. It's a special report. Well, it had kicked off a wee bit in Edinburgh last week, and well, I got asked to try and get in touch with Nebulous Non-Entity or something like that. I think their name was. So we got in touch, and pretty much here's what went down. My first question, Nebulous. What sex are you, Meb, sir? I could be whatever sex I want to be. I do whatever day I want to. I do. Turf cunt. Fuck off, turf cunt. Cool. Right, my second question. Did you get misgendered or something like that? Was somebody misgender or something like that? Can't about. I don't know. I did get misgendered, by the Scotsman, yeah, because they didn't know I was joking on my own page. It was a joke. And how do you entertain kids? What do you do there? Entertain kids. I mean, you seem as if you're a wee bit of an attention seeker yourself. Sorry, you like to be in the limelight, maybe is probably the best way to put it. So how do you entertain kids? Do you burlesque or something like that? What's that? How do I entertain? I entertain the kids by getting them not to look at me. Get them to look away. Or else I scare the kids. Don't entertain them. Sometimes I give them a little bit of Lego lollipop. Ask them to lick my Lego lollipop. We get them to play my Lego mobile phone. Yeah. you. Right, I see.
Yeah.
My cup of tea, pal, but we've got a question now for one of the nationalists. Cinnamon Bridges has got a question here he wants to ask you. I've got a question for the boy maybe listening on everything, mate. Aye. Are you not just raging because you look like that woman off the Woman Won't Wish poster, the demo poster? Is that why you're just going after Heat all the time? Is that more accurate? No, I'm talking to David Martin Miller.
I do not look like anything like that Women Won't Reach poster. That's not what it is. Yes, I am the centre of attention, but that's not what it is.
Final question for you, mate. Have you got a message for Scotland? Have you got a message you want to put to Scotland?
Have I a message for Scotland? Fuck off, you deaf cunts. Ollie, fuck off, you deaf cunts.
Right, so Clive, what's your thoughts on that, mate?
He's off.
Well, mildly amusing. Very much a live and let live kind of person, you know, but a love and cherish women a lot more. They mean a lot, you know, they're everything, eh? And I think their rights should be protected before anybody else's, you know, that wants to call themselves a woman or whatever. That's just how I feel, you know. As I say, I'm very much live and let live. Don't have anything against anybody, but women are, you know, they're everything, like, you know. They're the heart of family, they're the heart of civilization, just everything, you know.
John, you go, mate.
Yeah, I would agree with what you're saying there. Human rights are for everybody. Nobody should be seeking to have any more rights than anyone else, and you should be free to express your opinion without causing hurt, damage, or insult, or fear of prosecution about anybody else.
Absolutely.
We're heading to a dangerous and dark place, and it's very concerning. But human rights
really
are for everybody.
And the hate crime bill that Hamza Yousaf's pushing through, that kind of worries me as well. I mean, how can you not prescribe Orange Lodge and kind of orange marches and stuff, but you can kill for misgendering somebody? You know, I mean, that's blatant on the streets, you know. And for the other side as well, it's 21st century. It shouldn't be happening, you know. For me, that's one of the first things that in independent Scotland. It's one of the first things I'd change. You know,
I seen something there. It was, again, it's a wee bit off course, but it was an Orange Lodge march, or one of these marches there a couple Saturdays ago or whatever, and somebody had put his dash cam on it, and it was marching past them, and there was police walking beside it and police in a car behind it, whatever, and they're battering out their drums and everything else, and good luck to them. And this boy just happened to put his Celtic music on in his car, and he opened all the windows and put it up full blast. And as the Orange March is watching past his car, there's a Celtic song playing, and he's battering it out full style, his speakers, and everyone's throwing him daggers. Right? And it was funny the way he done it, and it wasn't even sort of just blasting away. And the police car drew up beside him as the end of the Orange March went past, and the policeman do it and says, "Turn that off." And he says, "You're effing kidding me." He says, "I've just watched that," and he's screaming about up to my knees in Fenian blood, and you're telling me to have something that's not even mentioning them. I'll not be doing it. And the policeman basically threatened him, but he said, "I'm not doing it." He says, "Arrest me," and he wouldn't do it. And quite right there.
It's the 21st century, you know. That's not place in Scotland anymore. I mean,
it should be banned.
Scotland's a big multicultural society, you know, and that's offensive. You know? And it's as well. I don't have a religion at all. I'm an atheist, right? I don't really care what happens to me when I die. But just for purely the human decency point of view, you know, it's just no on it. And I think it's embarrassing that so many people embrace all this in Scotland.
Yeah, one of the problems that we've got in Scotland is the history of what happened to Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, for that matter, has been obliterated, and the crimes of the British Empire have been wiped out the history books. So, I mean, it's always a thing to me. You can switch on that Sky TV, and there's umpteen channels talking about the things the Germans done every day of the week. You can watch 10, 20 documentaries a day, Adolf Hitler and the Germans and all that. Not one word about what the British Empire done in all the countries that they conquered. So they basically expunged the crimes of the British Empire, and they basically control the narrative. And that's why there's so many people are ignorant of the crimes that have been committed on behalf of the British Empire. Yeah,
That's right, exactly. You nailed it. It's the mainstream media don't want to do anything like this. You know, they want to keep us down. And I think a lot to do with it is social media now, and everybody's got a phone. You know, along any street, and you see people's faces buried in their phones, just ignoring everything else that's happening around. And it's sad, you know. I'm on social media quite a bit, but I mean, working.
If people even bother to look, if people even bother to look for themselves, the British actually carried out what's called Operation Legacy. Not long, I think it was just after the Second World War, and that's when we went around basically bribing and blackmailing all these colonies to destroy and buy up and destroy information of the crimes committed by the war crimes committed by the British Empire, and they were basically wiped out the history book. And that's the kind of country we live in. They're still at it today. I just say in Parliament, they're just walking through.
As I said earlier, I mean, I just think the world's about a sad place just now. You know, I mean, there's beauty everywhere you look, but it's what's happening in Palestine, what's happening in Afghanistan now. You know, it's all money. You know, it's all money driven.
Yeah.
But people are led to believe that it's them and us. You know.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. We're all humans. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And people forget that this was all started on a false pretense. And these Al Qaeda and Taliban, these were all financed by the CIA originally to fight the Russians and everyone else, and it morphed into what it became into and come back to bite them in the arse. So
I totally believe that.
So
ISIS-K have made it once again. ISIS have made it
shocking what they're doing.
Yeah, so
But repeating itself, the old colonial powers are getting hunted. Like they got hunted out of Vietnam, they're getting hunted out of Afghanistan again. But it's the poor people who suffer.
You know, that was another couple of suicide bombings went off in Afghanistan today.
Shocking.
And allegedly there was a loss of American military personnel lives. So that's news just coming in. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but that's news that I'd heard.
I heard it. I didn't hear any casualties. I didn't know if there was any Americans or British who were killed. But think of the lives that have been lost, people maimed, and people that come back broken, minds are wrecked for their lives. They've lost their marriages, their families, whatever. And the billions, the hundreds of billions of dollars spent for nothing. And the ones that have profited is the industrial military complex. A lot of defence companies and contractors and subcontractors, G4S and the like, company I used to work for, they've all made billions out of it, millions, billions, whatever else.
Well, look at the rebuilding of Iraq after the two Gulf Wars. Halliburton, one of the biggest companies in the world, made trillions out of it. You know, so's all these big companies like Fluor Construction. I work in construction myself. They've made billions out of it, trillions out of it, you know, and it's still going on, you know. So they just destroy a place, build it.
And then send the bill for it. Bullet to hell next Cheney. Yeah.
Well, Dick Cheney at the time, who was George Bush's foreign envoy or whatever. He was one of the shareholders in Halliburton. So were the Bush family, one of the biggest shareholders in Halliburton, and they made a billions out of it.
Yeah.
So it's blatant, you know. But look what's happening in the UK just now. Look how blatant the Tories are robbing at the time. You know, and people are quite happy with it.
Well, people don't care. People know it and they don't care. Even though
Boris is doing a good job and all the rest of it.
That's right. There's a stink-up, there's a BBC News presenter, I can't remember her name offhand, but she was basically challenged on that and said that people don't care that the Tories lie, that Boris Johnson lies. They expect it and they don't care. And these people that do this must be laughing their boots off thinking, we can get away with murder. We can get away with it. And all these people die because of COVID-19. We can wipe hundreds of thousands of people out and they still vote for us. Because Labour shite. It's shocking. It's apathy and indifference once again. Apathy and indifference rules. People just don't care.
And once more, Scotland's not got the government they voted for. You know, it's a democratic. It's outrageous. You know, we need independence ASAP.
You do.
Independence tomorrow isn't soon enough for. You know, and just and then there's nobody else to blame but us if it goes tits
Yeah.
up, you know. Sorry.
Yeah,
You can't point the finger at Westminster and blame the Tories then, you know. It's just,
yeah.
you just need it. It's normal, you know. And
We've got
I
the
see
whole.
what the-
I mean, you've got to remember that the media is a reserve matter. We're not allowed to have our own media in Scotland. We've got to just have
Well,
the
I know.
British media with Scotland stuck in front of it.
Aye,
Yeah.
So we're starting off with a very bad place, and we're not going to get them all. And the SNP are horrifically bad at responding to all the blackmail criticism and all the garbage that's in the media. I mean, there's actually a Twitter account I used to follow called SNP Media, and I think it's one of these page go mobile phones because they've never tweeted nothing in months, and they're meant to be media arm of the SNP. They're absolute rubbish.
They never rebuff anything. Like, for instance,
Yeah,
the
they
chair.
don't. Yeah,
Come on, everybody knows it's
I know.
some of the crap, you
exactly.
know, but they never actually forcibly rebuff anything or say, oh,
They
that's a load of rubbish, come on, prove it or whatever.
And that's what they should have a whole department dealing with that. Basically,
Well, they're meant to
rebuffing everything they say and putting it on social media and putting it on the telly and everything else. They might not get it on the telly, but they can put it on the internet and be far more aggressive about how they respond to it. Because we're getting trampled on every day and they just sit and take it.
I mean, we're all subsidy junkie, you know, about on benefits.
Yeah.
My life, I worked on my license was 15. I find that insulting, you know, when folk cause that. But anyway, it's maybe just talking you through fear, unknown or whatever. Who knows, eh?
Yeah. But again, it's into the British psyche.
Tomorrow's not soon enough.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of people in England.
Here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in England and in Scotland do think that England subsidises, and in fact, it's British oil, as Alistair Darling said, former Labour Chancellor. If it wasn't for Scottish oil, the British would have went bust. It's been underwriting British pensions for decades, and that was a Labour Chancellor that said it.
I know.
If it wasn't for Scottish oil, we would have been.
Aye.
But they like to. But the media will get that into folks' heads that it's true, that they believe it.
We're paying for all the wars. We're paying for all the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah.
Paying for all the big schools getting built in London. All the stuff that doesn't benefit Scotland in the slightest for it. And the main thing is nuclear weapons need to go out of Scotland. Scotland doesn't want nuclear weapons. And I'll be going on Saturday, by the way. So
that leads us on nicely, lads, to the poster that I've got there, Rally for Independence at Faz Lane for a nuclear-free Scotland. It's all under one banner. Amongst others, we'll be gathering not tomorrow, Saturday the 28th at 1 p.m. at the North Gate, I believe, the main gate, Faz Lane main gate. So if you can make it along, that'd be great. Clive, did you see you were going along in it?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yep, definitely.
But the last guest that we had on, David, he's going to be one of the speakers that's there. We're going to try and get some representation along myself, John, to do a wee bit of filming if I can. So hopefully we'll see you there. There's another couple of things I wanted to make our viewers aware of. Let me see. There's a new thing, a new page being launched. It's called Icarus Scotland Project. It's going to be based off similar to Led by Donkeys down south.
Excellent.
Well, we're going to try and put together some video footage and some artwork and some imagery that we can put out as some short video clips to make information clips, and also to project them onto public buildings. So guys, look out for the page, give them a wee follow, retweet, what have you. So they're kind of a newly formed today, and they've got a couple of things hopefully in the short term coming out with regards to Women Won't Weech. Thanks very much, Clive. With regards to Women Won't Weech, and the demo that's going to be taking place at Holyrood on the 2nd of September. So
there too.
we're going to try and get some representation along to that as well. I'll just put this poster up here. This is the demo here, Women's Right demo, Thursday the 2nd of September at 11 AM at Scottish Parliament. There are other things on in the pipeline between then. I believe there's another demo on the 31st of August at the Scottish Parliament. Again, these are all adverts on Twitter. And then you've got Hope Over Fear coming the 9th of September as well with Tommy Sheridan, etc. So there's plenty going on. If you can get along to any of these things, make yourself heard, because it's your rights that are getting frittered away. It's your wife's rights, your daughters, your granddaughters. It's if it has an impact on you, make sure that you have a chance to say something about it. Unlike the vote with the SNP and Greens, it wasn't supposed to be, or that was supposed to be a vote that was going ahead, then it wasn't. And then I believe there was a vote or emails or communication sent out today to make the members aware that there was a vote available, but it was a consultative vote. So does that mean that it's only, well, the deal's been done? We'll look at the results at the end of it, and we can ignore them if we want. Doesn't matter.
You'll never know. You'll never see the results if it goes against them. It's like the Freedom of Information request for results of the GRA consultation. They're sitting on that. They don't want to know the results because Scotland doesn't want it, probably. You know, so I'm really sad to say it, but the SNP are just really disappointing me now. I was a member for years, since Tony Blair, and I'm now a member of Alba. I left in 2018 when I got the names of the accusers of Alex Salmond. That was it for me. So let's just hope we can take this forward, you know, and let's hope they come and start working with Alba and we can get this done, you know, before it's too late.
Definitely. And on that
tomorrow's
note,
not soon enough.
On that note, then that's time up for this evening, lads. I would like to thank Clive Thompson very much for joining as a guest this evening, and say thank you to all of our new subscribers on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you press the bell for regular updates, because there's a lot coming up in the near future. We've got a bit of political special next week, John, and Clive's been trying to guess at who this guest is going to be. We've got none.
Close did I get?
You didn't get any of them right, mate, but good guesses though. I enjoyed your guesses. We've got none other than Alaba's running for deputy is Michelle Ferns, Councillor Michelle Ferns, coming up next week. So look out for that one. And again, if you've subscribed to the YouTube channel and you press the bell, you'll get the updates as soon as it becomes available. But this recording, we're not going to have our usual on Sunday because there's an Old Firm game on or something like that, and I'm not want to be taking people away from that because I believe it's going to be a big one. Well done to Rangers for qualifying for the next round in Europe this evening. St Johnstone are kicked off, and Celtic have just kicked off earlier. So good luck to all the Scottish clubs in Europe. So for everybody,
I'm a Pars supporter. I don't have to worry about that.
You know what?
I'm a Pars supporter. I don't have to worry about anything like Europe or that, you know. I
suppose you could cheer on your Edinburgh neighbours or their route as well. Right, anyway, that's it.
No chance.
Scotland occupied. From Cinnamon Bridges, for JB White State, for Clive Thompson, thank you very much for joining us, and I'll say good night.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
Independence, come on, let's do it.
Independence for Scotland, yes. This is Tweet Street Satirical Saltire, broadcasting to you for unoccupied Scotland. Amplifying women's voices and saying women won't waste. This is Tweet Street Satirical Saltire, broadcasting to you for unoccupied Scotland. Amplifying women's voices and saying women won't waste.